Good morning, students. Welcome to a fresh session. In the previous class, we have done addition and subtraction of integers. And from this class, we will be doing multiplication of integers. Okay, now let's go into the topic. So, before starting addition and subtraction, we have done rules for adding and subtracting integers. That is how we learned how to add and subtract integers, right? So like that, for multiplication of integers also, there are rules, okay? So let's look at the rules. There are 3 rules for multiplication of integers. These rules are as follows. When you multiply 2 positive integers, you will get a positive integer. When you multiply a positive and a negative integer, or a negative and a positive integer, you will get a negative integer. And when you multiply 2 negative integers, you will get positive integer. Okay, now you can remember this rule easily like this. When it's both plus, both positive integers, both negative or both minus integers, both negative integers and both positive integers, then our answer will be positive, right? And if any one of the integers is negative and the other is positive, then we will have a negative answer. Okay, so let's look at this using examples. So the first rule tells us that when we multiply 2 positive integers, we get another positive integer, right? So let's look at the examples. Look at these 2 integers. This is 3 and this is 4. And both these integers are positive integers, right? There's plus sign for this 3 and plus sign for this 4. This 3 is also positive and this 4 is also positive. So when you multiply 2 positive integers, you got another positive integer as your answer, right? Plus sign, plus sign, plus sign. So that is what this rule is. This rule tells us positive and positive integers, when multiplied, we get another positive integer. Let's make some more examples to make it clearer. Another example, 6 is a positive integer, 10 is a positive integer, and our answer is 60, which is also another positive integer. 12 is a positive integer, 15 is a positive integer. 2 positive integers when multiplied, we get another positive integer, which is 180, positive integer. Next rule tells us that if we multiply a positive integer and a negative integer together, we get a negative integer. So let's see. Look at this first example. 4 is a positive integer, minus 8 is a negative integer. When you multiplied positive integer and negative integer, you get a negative integer, right? So let's look at some more examples. 5 and minus 7. 5 is a positive integer, minus 7 is a negative integer. Positive and negative when multiplied, we get another negative integer. One more example. 12 is a positive integer, minus 15 is a negative integer. When you multiply a positive integer and a negative integer, you get a negative integer as your answer. Next rule, when we multiply a negative integer and a positive integer, you get a negative integer, right? So let's look at this example. Minus 4 is a negative integer, 8 is a positive integer. So negative integer when multiplied with positive integer, we get negative integer. Another example, negative integer minus 5, 35 is positive, negative positive, negative answer. Minus 3 is negative integer, 4 is positive integer, negative integer, positive integer, we get negative integer. Next rule, when both the integers we have taken are negative integers, we get positive answer. Let's look at the examples. Minus 3 and minus 4 are both negative integers, and when we multiply two negative integers, we get positive answer, right? This is positive. Minus minus plus, okay? So 6 minus 6, negative integer, minus 30, another negative integer. When two negative integers are multiplied, you get positive integer 180. Now let us look at some more basics of multiplication of integers. Before going into that, you need to know what are odd numbers and even numbers. Now, you must already know from your lower classes, but let's refresh your memory. Odd numbers are all these numbers: 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, etc. Right? Even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, etc. So clearly you can see that even numbers are all in the multiplication table of 2. That means all the even numbers are numbers which are multiples of 2. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 threes are 6, etc. It will go on. So all these numbers are even numbers, and all the numbers which are not even are definitely odd numbers. So 2 is even, 1 is odd, 3 is odd, 4 is even, 5 is odd, 6 is even, 7 is odd, 8 is even, 9 is odd, 10 is even, 11 is odd, 12 is even, etc. It will go on in this manner. Okay, so now you know what are odd numbers and what are even numbers. So keeping this in mind, let's look at the next topic. Now look at these examples. There are two numbers in all the examples. Here there is 2 and 3, minus 4 and 9, 8 and minus 35, minus 6 and minus 7. So these are all two numbers multiplied, right? Let's look at the answers. This is both positive, so positive answer. One is negative, one is positive, so negative answer. One is positive, one is negative, so again negative answer. Both are negative, so positive answer, right? This is a revision of the rules that we have studied right now. When both are positive, you get a positive answer. When both are negative, you get a positive answer. When one of the numbers is negative and one of the numbers is positive, you get a negative answer, right? So let's look at the next one. Now let us multiply 3 and more numbers and see how to multiply it. Okay, when we did addition and subtraction, what did we do? We took the first two numbers and we solved it. Then whatever answer we got, we solved it with the third number, right? So that way you keep on continuing as many numbers are there, right? So the same way we are going to do for multiplication also, but using the rules. Okay, so here the first two numbers are 3 and 2. Now 3 into 2 is 6, right? Now minus 4 written as it is. Now 6 into minus 4 is minus 24. Why? Rules says that positive, negative, so answer should be negative, right? 6 into 4 is 24 and plus into minus is minus. So we get minus 24 as the answer, right? Let's look at few more examples. Here in this example, let's solve it. Again, 3 numbers. What will we do? Solve the first two numbers. So what is the first two numbers? 3 and minus 2. 3 into 2 6, minus into plus, minus. So minus 6. Minus 4 written as it is. Then we solve the rest. 6 into 4, 24. Minus into minus, plus. So we get plus 24 as our answer. Every time you solve, don't forget to use the rules in order to solve. Okay? Next. Look at this 3 numbers again. Let's solve first 2 numbers. 3 into 2, 6. Minus into minus, plus. Minus 4 written as it is. Then we solve this. 6 into 4, 24. Plus into minus, minus. So we have minus 24 as our answer, right? Now the next question. Let's try to solve 4 integers. Let's try to multiply 4 integers now. Previous examples, we have seen 3 integers. Let's solve 4 integers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 integers. Same step. First you solve the 2, find the answer. Then you solve the next 2, find the answer. Then you solve the last 2, find the final answer. Right? So let's follow. 3 into 2, 6. Minus into minus, plus. Minus 4 written as it is. 6 written as it is. Now next 2 numbers. 6 and 4. 6 into 4, 24. Minus plus minus. Next number written as it is. Again 2 numbers. 24 into 6, 144. Minus into plus, minus. So you get minus 144 as your answer, right? Now let's look at few more examples. Again, 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's solve. First 2 numbers. 3 into 2, 6. Plus into minus, minus. Minus 4 written as it is, 6 written as it is. Then another 2 numbers, 6 into 4, 24, minus into minus, plus, 6 written as it is. Then we have 24 and 6 at last, we solve them. 24 into 6, 144. Positive into positive, positive answer, right? Now let's look at a few more examples. Now look at this example carefully. We are going to learn a new concept. So please look at this example carefully. How many numbers are there in this example? 1, 2, 3, right? What is your answer? Minus 10, right? Let's look at this question a little carefully and observe something, okay? In this question and in this question, there are 3 negative integers in the question and 3 negative integers in the question. So they both have 3 negative integers, right? Here it's minus 1, minus 2, minus 5. Here in this question, it is minus 8, minus 5, minus 4. Now, look at one common thing. 3. 3 is an odd integer, right? We know that 1 is odd, 2 is even. 3 is odd, 4 is even. So 3 is odd integer, right? Now look at this numbers and this numbers. What do you see in common here? We can see that in both the questions there are 3 negative integers being multiplied, right? Here also 1, 2, 3 negative integers. Here also 1, 2, 3 negative integers are being multiplied, right? Now look at the answers carefully. 1, 2. The answers are both negative. So we can arrive at a conclusion from here. Before that, revise again. 3 negative integers when multiplied. 3 is an odd integer. So I can also say odd number of integers when multiplied, I get what answer? Negative answer. So let's look once more. I can conclude that when we multiply negative integers odd number of times, we get negative answer. Now, if you're confused, let's look at some more examples to avoid the confusion. Look at this example. -1 is negative, -4 is negative, -7 is negative, right? How many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3. So 3 negative integers. Okay? 3 negative integers. When we multiplied, we got negative integer as answer. Why? Because 3 is an odd number. Okay? Same way, let's look at the next example. Look at this example. Here we have how many negative integers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 negative integers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So since we have 5 negative integers, we get a negative integer as answer. Why? Because 5 is an odd number. Okay? Again, look at the third example. What are the numbers? -1, -6, -9, -10, -1, -1, -2. How many numbers are there? All are negative. Can you see that? All are negative. And how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So how many numbers are there here? 7 numbers. Right? And what kind of number is 7? 7 is an odd number. Right? So when we have odd number of integers multiplied, we get a negative integer as answer. So can you see this? A negative integer as our answer. Okay, so that is what we have to keep in mind. So same way we can tell about even number of integers also. Let's look at that. So like previously, same type, we can say that when we multiply negative integers, how many times? Even number of times, we get positive answer. What does this mean? Let's see via example. Look at the first example. The first number is -1, second is -4. Both are negative integers, right? And how many negative integers are there? There are 2 negative integers. And what kind of number is 2? 2 is an even number, right? So that is why we have a positive answer. Can you see there's a positive answer? Yes. So according to the rule, when we have even number of integers multiplied, what kind of integers? Negative integers, right? When we have even number of negative integers multiplied, we get positive answer, right? So next example, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many numbers are here? How many negative integers? 4 negative integers, right? And what type of number is 4? 4 is an even number again, right? So since 4 is an even number, we can say that automatically answer will be positive, right? Same way, let's look at the third example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many numbers? 6 negative integers. How many negative integers? 6 negative integers. And what kind of number is 6? 6 is an even number, right? So since 6 is an even number, we can say that answer will be positive. So 1080 is the answer and it is positive. Okay. So when we multiply even number of times, negative integers when we multiply even number of times, we get positive answer. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. We can conclude therefore that negative numbers multiplied Odd number of times will give us negative answer. Even number of times will give us positive answer. So this is the rule that you need to keep in mind. Okay. Now let us look at some more examples to make it clear. Look at this example. All are negative integers. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many negative integers? 4 negative integers, right? What will be the sign of the answer? We can say that 4 negative integers are multiplied. 4 negative integers. Which are the integers? -2, -3, -4, -5. So 4 negative integers are multiplied, right? So 4 is even. So what can we conclude from the rule? Since we multiplied 4 negative integers and 4 is even, we get a positive answer. Why? Again, 4 negative integers, 4 is even, so positive answer, right? Let's look at the next example. In this example, all are negative integers again. So how many negative integers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what will be the answer sign? In order to find the sign of the answer, we can look at this. There are 7 negative numbers multiplied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 negative integers are multiplied, right? So since 7 is odd, the answer is going to be negative. Since 7 is odd, we are going to have negative answer. That means when we multiply all these numbers, we are going to get a negative integer as answer. Okay, so with all these, we can conclude today's class. Multiplication of integers, that is all. So make sure that you have watched this video multiple times unless you have understood everything that is taught in the video. In the next class, we will be doing properties of multiplication, and after properties, we will be doing exercise 1.3. So as you can see, if this class is not clear, then the next class you will not understand. So make sure that you have done everything properly, you have understood. Okay? And if you did not understand, go back to the video, watch it from the beginning and make sure that everything is clear to you. Okay? So see you in the next class. Thank you.